Mountaineering is one of my favorite sports. I absolutely love the snow, but admittedly, it's cold. Shocker, right? So to combat that, you got to dress this very specific way. The best way to keep warm when you're doing sports outdoors in the wintertime or when it's snowing outside, whatever season it may be, is layers. You're going to want to dress in layers. So today, I'm going to be going over how I layer my clothes when I go outdoors mountaineering. So let's jump in. What's going on, guys? Trevor Long here for Sawback Gear. Today we're going to be talking about my layering system for winter activities. I feel like the best way to show you that is to actually go layer by layer, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each one, but there's a lot to cover, so I'm going to try and make it quick. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comment section down below, and we may make specific videos about each of the different sections of layers if you guys are interested enough. All right, so let's jump in. First of all, I guess we'll go down to the base layers. All right, so this is what I typically use for my base layers. This is a merino wool top made by Smart Wool, as well as a merino wool bottoms made by Smart Wool. Both of them are pretty warm. I like them. Smart Wool makes heavier versions if it's gonna be colder out, but I usually run hot, and honestly, this in and of itself is pretty warm for me right now. This is a merino wool sock base layer. You're gonna tuck that underneath the leg of your base wool pants, and put your pants on and your shirt on. So that's layer number one. All right, so let's go on to the second layer. All right, so now we got layer two. This layer consists of a soft shell jacket. In this case, I'm using the Outdoor Research Feroce hoodie and some kind of soft shell pant. This is the Prana Bryon soft shell pant. They also happen to be the one that I use the most for rock climbing, so versatile. You're also going to be using a thicker sock than you were using before. This one's going to be on top of your lighter sock, and it's going to be over your base layer. That's an important note to take. Every time you put on a new layer of socks, it goes over the previous layer of pants. Keep that in mind. That helps keep the snow out and keep warm air inside your pants and body in general. Just for the record, this soft shell jacket can also be replaced with a fleece jacket or a fleece hoodie. You gain a little bit more warmth, but you sacrifice a little bit more breathability. I know not many people think about it like this, but when you're out there working hard, climbing a mountain, you actually get hot pretty fast, even if it's cold outside, which is why I typically go for something a little more breathable, because it keeps me from overheating. And you definitely don't want to overheat when you're outdoors, because then when you stop moving, your sweat freezes, and that's the best way to get yourself hypothermic. So if it's going to be really cold, feel free to replace this with a fleece, or do honestly whatever you'd like. But I prefer a soft shell jacket. This is going to be the layer you're spending the most time on. Usually if I'm climbing anywhere, I'll throw on a pair of gloves and I'm just climbing like this. The next thing that you're going to want to consider is what you're going to do if it gets a little bit colder and you want a little bit of extra warmth. So let's do that. All right, so if it gets a little bit colder, you're going to want to add an extra layer like this midway insulation layer by Black Diamond. It's a synthetic insulation layer, which means it'll still retain its warmth even if it gets wet. A couple of the features that it has, it's got a chest zip pocket. That's going to be important. You're going to want something to keep your phones or a snack in. Those are always useful. Hand pockets to put your hands in. Nice, keeping them warm. If you unzip it, there's drop pockets inside to keep extra layers of gloves. Speaking of gloves, I also added this Black Diamond liner glove as well. They're made of fleece, but they have a leather palm to help you grip your ice axe or whatever equipment you might be using. You're going to want to bring an extra pair though, because these get lost really easily, and if it's cold enough that you're going to need a pair of gloves, you're not going to want to be without them. So bring two, keep one in your jacket. If you lose them, you got a backup. That's always useful. If you have any questions at all about gloves, check out the other video that we did. We'll put an annotation on the video and put a link down in the description. But yeah, if you check that video out, you will get a lot of information about gloves that you probably didn't know before. So check it out. So the next situation that you may have to deal with is if it's raining or snowing, or if the snow on the ground is really wet. In that case, you're going to want to add some weather protection to your layering system. So let's jump into that. All right. So the first thing that you're going to want to add if the weather turns sour is a rain bib. You could use a rain pant, which is just a pair of pants that are waterproof, but I prefer rain bibs because they ride all the way up. Yes, they look dorky, but they do a really good job of keeping snow out of your pants, and trust me, you do not want snow in your pants. Some of the features of this one is actually a Mountain Hardwear rain bib. It's got a full zip on either side with 2 zippers, so you can meet the zippers in the middle, and you can put your bib on without taking your boots off, even if they have crampons on, which is incredibly useful. It's got a zipper in the front that you can bring down to perform your business if you're a gentleman, or if you are a lady. I'm sorry. There is unfortunately no zip in the back, which makes it difficult for women to use the restroom and men to use the second restroom, if you understand what I'm saying. It's got chest pockets in the front that you can use to store some of your gear. It's got elastic shoulder straps to help keep it up and not sagging. And it's got elastic cuffs around the heel to help keep snow out from your boots. So now let's go ahead and add the other components of our weather protection layer, and we'll go through those. All right, so we added a couple of new items, so let's go through these one at a time. Obviously, you can see that I've added a hard shell rain jacket. If you need any help picking one of those, we did a video on that. We'll also link that in the description. We'll put an annotation on the screen. You just want something that's waterproof yet breathable, something with venting. Pockets are always great. Check those out. Heavy pair of gloves, something insulated. It's got a dummy cord on the inside, elastic cinch around the wrist cuff so that you can keep snow out of your hands. And also, for the record, I added the insulation layer back over the rain bib. Finally, I switched out my regular hiking boots for a technical mountaineering boot. These are the Loa Mountain Expert GTX Evos. They're great, they're very warm, insulated, and they're waterproof, which is important. My hiking boots are Gore-Tex, but they still get wet. So I put those boots on. I also added the Smart Wool mountaineering sock over my regular pants and underneath my rain bib. So that's just a really heavy sock that'll help keep your toes warm inside your mountaineering boots. Okay, so the last item that we've added to this weather protection layer are a pair of snow gaiters. These will keep snow out of your boots, out of your pants. Altogether, they're amazing. These are the Outdoor Research Crocodile Expedition gaiters. They've got a reinforced patch on the inside to protect the gaiters from crampons cutting them, and they'll also protect your pants underneath them. Speaking of crampons, why don't we add the accessories and all the technical equipment that you're going to use if you're doing some actual technical mountaineering. So let's do that. All right, so now I've added some of the technical gear that we might use. This is the Black Diamond Raven Pro Ice Axe, the Black Diamond Vector helmet. These are Smith IO7 goggles. I've also added the Black Diamond Sabertooth crampons as well on the bottom of my feet. I've also added a buff around my neck that can help insulate my neck, or I can pull it up over my mouth to use as like a makeshift. So this is the equipment that you're pretty much going to be using the majority of the time you're climbing, assuming that it's cold out and snowy. Right, the best part about this system is that you can customize it to your needs. So you can take layers away if it's too warm, you can add layers if it's too cold. If it's raining, you can use a jacket. If it's not raining, you can take the jacket away. If you need a helmet, you can use a helmet, ice axe, ice. So it's really great because the layers make it easy for you to customize it to the way you need it to be. The final layer that I'm going to go over is going to be the belay layer. This is really only to be used in situations where it's really, really cold out and you've stopped moving to belay your partner, so you're not using, you're not getting body heat from your movement, and you want to add some extra warmth. It's going to be huge jackets and huge pants, but I'll show you those right now. So let's jump into that. All right, so this is the last and final layer that you're ever going to need. These are the Black Diamond Stance belay jacket, Black Diamond Stance belay pants, and some Black Diamond mitts as well. I've added these all for extra warmth. Right now, this is way overkill. I'm like really hot right now, to be honest, even though it's pretty cold out. The only times you're ever need these are if you're standing still, belaying your partner in some really cold weather. But in that situation, they do come in really handy. So if you expect that that's going to happen, you're definitely going to want to bring them. So that pretty much does it for us today, folks. I hope you liked our video on layering. I've got 32 million layers on my body right now, but other than that, I feel pretty good. So if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions about any of the layers, or if you'd like to make any contributions to the video. Other than that, I'm really glad you guys stopped by. This has been Trevor Long for Sawback Gear, and we hope to see you outside.